You know that feeling, right? You capture this perfect moment, maybe at a concert or a cool late night street scene. But when you watch it back, the video is just a grainy, unwatchable mess. Well, what if I told you there's a new kind of technology that can take that disaster and turn it into something that looks almost cinematic? Today, we're going to dive into the future of night video.
I mean, we've all been there. You film something that feels absolutely magical in the moment, but the playback looks like it was recorded through a sandstorm. It's this universal frustration for pretty much anyone with a smartphone. So why exactly does this keep happening? Just look at the massive quality gap here. Your phone can take a surprisingly good photo in the dark, can it? Well, that's because for a still picture, the camera can leave its shutter open for a couple of seconds, just soaking up all that light. But video doesn't have that luxury. And this slide really gets to the heart of it. It's a physics problem. To capture 30 or even 60 frames every single second, that tiny little sensor in your phone has to work like crazy. It digitally cranks up its sensitivity to light, that's the ISO boost, and the side effect is that awful digital green or noise that just ruins everything. So what if your phone didn't have to do all that work by itself? That's the big breakthrough. We're talking about moving all that heavy lifting from the tiny chip in your hand to the unbelievable power of the cloud. And this quote just nails it. You simply can't cheat the laws of physics or make your phone's sensor bigger. The only real way forward is to let powerful server-side AI computationally rebuild the lighting and the detail that your lens just couldn't capture in the first place. You know, this technology didn't just appear overnight. Before 2023, we were basically stuck with those smeary, on-device noise reduction filters. Then, Google completely changed the game with its cloud-based VideoBoost for the Pixel phones, and now, fast forward to 2026, and we're seeing third-party apps bringing that exact same power to almost any Android device out there. Okay, so how does all this magic actually happen? It's not really magic, of course, but it is some incredibly clever computing. Let's break it down. For you, the user, it's a really simple three-step process. You take your noisy, raw video and you just upload it through the app. Then you wait. You let these powerful cloud servers do all the hard work. A little while later, you get a notification and you can download a completely transformed, enhanced master file. The real secret sauce is something called temporal denoising. It sounds complicated, but think of it as a super smart filter. Instead of just blurring everything to hide the grain, it's an advanced AI that actually analyzes multiple frames of your video at once to figure out what's real detail and what's just random digital noise. I love this analogy. Think of the AI as a detective. It's looking at one frame, then the next, then the one after that. If it sees a consistent pattern, like the texture of a brick wall, it says, aha, that's real detail. Let's preserve and sharpen that. But if it sees a little speck of light that's there in one frame and gone in the next, it knows that's just random noise and intelligently removes it without smudging the real stuff. And it gets even better. Beyond just cleaning up the noise, these AI models can take a standard 1080p video and upscale it to a stunningly crisp 4K. It does this by, and this is a real term, hallucinating, or intelligently guessing and filling in the missing pixels to create detail that wasn't even in the original file. It's kind of like a digital artist filling in the blanks. Okay, this all sounds amazing, and it is, but before you rush off to find one of these apps, there's a really serious issue you need to know about. The popularity of VideoBoost has created an absolute minefield of fake and useless apps. This table is basically your field guide for spotting the real apps from the fakes. A genuine app is all about cloud processing. You'll upload your video and it's probably going to be a paid service that needs a login. The fakes, on the other hand, they're just simple media players or audio boosters absolutely loaded with ads, and they often ask for really invasive permissions. They're just hijacking the search term to trick you. And it's really important to set the right expectations here. This is not an instant Instagram filter. Because it's using powerful cloud servers, you have to wait for the upload, for the processing queue, and for the download. We're talking minutes, maybe even longer for a big file. And remember, these video files, especially in 4K, are absolutely massive. Always, and I mean always, use Wi-Fi for this. So, what does this all mean for the future of video? Because this is way more than just a cool app. It really feels like a fundamental shift in how we create high-quality content. So think about this. Not too long ago, if you wanted this kind of power, you'd be looking at professional desktop software, and that alone would run you about $300 just to get in the door.
But that software is pretty useless without the right hardware to run it. You'd need a seriously powerful graphics card, a GPU, to process this kind of video efficiently. And that could easily set you back $2,000 or more.
And now, compare all of that to the cost of a cloud-based mobile service. We're talking about $5 a month. The barrier to entry for creating professional-looking video has just absolutely collapsed. It's insane. So this leaves us with a pretty big question. As we start offloading more and more of this heavy computational work to the cloud, are we entering a totally new era of video? An era where the quality of your work isn't defined by the expensive camera in your hand, but by the power of the AI you can access in the cloud? It feels like a whole new frontier, and it's happening right now.